In terms of the government support, today the farmer who is a traditional farmer is doing what we call flood irrigation, right?
Yes.
And when he floods his field, he would end up using more fertilizer.
Right.
He will end up using more, energy.
Right.
Water. All of these things government subsidizes.
Right.
Gives him at a very low cost. The state policies.
Right.
Now, when he uses drip, he would use almost 50% of water, 50% of fertilizer, 50% of energy.
Right.
So the government, on one hand, when they are giving subsidy to the farmer,
Right.
they are saving the consumption subsidy and giving a capital subsidy.
Right.
Just to take an example, it's like teaching somebody to fish versus giving them fish every day.
Yeah.
So that's a capital investment into infrastructure by the government.
Right.
And that normally, let's say canal, government spends all this, thousands of crores to build a dam and a canal.
Right.
The farmers don't participate.
Right.
So this is like that. So I don't really call it a subsidy. It's an investment support into a capital asset.
Right.
However, now that the agriculture produce prices have gone up,
Yeah.
right, and farmers are getting better yields using drip and sprinkler technology, and they're making more money, we are finding for a lot of cash crops especially, the payback period for farmers is between 1 to 3 years.
Right.
On this investment.
Right.
So as time goes by, because this was a new technology, a new concept, we are changing the way people are doing things for centuries.
Right.
When you need some support.
Yes.
But as time goes by, over next 5 to 10 years, I think even if there is no subsidy and zero subsidy or capital support from the government, farmer would buy these because it makes sense for him economically. So.
Right. On the same note, now that we have the solutions available to the farmers, the end user that is, what is Jain Irrigation's scalability plan so that farmers from North India and other parts of the country are also able to use this technology?
Sure. We started in Maharashtra,
Right.
and then we have moved more into Western and Southern India to
Right.
start with, because
Right.
also they are more arid regions, they
Yeah.
have more need for water. In North and East, plenty of water is available, so farmers are less concerned or less enthusiastic about, let's say, technology. But slowly we have done now so much of work in Rajasthan. We have started doing work in Haryana, Punjab, Bihar, Himachal Pradesh. So we're coming to North as well. In terms of scalability, if you look at, there's this 140 million hectares total under cultivation. Half of that is rain-fed, where let's say I can't reach because it's based on rain. But the remaining 70 million hectares, which is on irrigated land. Now there we can work that from normal irrigation, how can they go for efficient irrigation? As against this 70 million hectares, hardly about, I think, close to 5 to 6 million hectares now is covered with drip and sprinkler.
Right.
So scalability, now some of that, let's say some of the technology, some farmers will never take and so on in some areas. So, but even if you remove all of that, out of 70, I think at least about 50 million hectares can be done.
Right.
And 5-6 has happened. So, and every million hectares is an potential to do approximately $1 billion in terms of overall economic value.
Right.
So we think the opportunity to scale is that we have ability to continue to grow in this market for next 2 to 3 decades.
Right.
So this is not a growth possibility for a few quarters or few years. This is a multi-decade growth
Long-term
opportunity.
strategy. Right. So drip irrigation or micro irrigation would be one aspect of, let's say, sustainability in agriculture. Other aspects could be capacity building at large. So what is Jain Irrigation doing as far as capacity building, and what is your take on the extent of capacity building we are able to achieve in the primary sector?
Sure, I think that's a very good question. This is about concept selling, right?
Right.
We are selling this concept that you can do more from less. More crop per drop is, our slogan.
Right.
Now, in terms of capacity building, because water is one of the inputs, right?
Right.
Though most vital, but it is one of the inputs.
Yes.
Farmer needs to know when to utilize fertilizer,
Right.
when to use agrochemicals,
Right.
how to manage his soil, when
Right.
to plant, what
Right.
type of material he should use in planting material, whether seed and
Right.
or the plants. Plus we participate in exhibitions, etc. Then we are working with almost more than 20 agriculture universities in India and trying to co-opt this knowledge to their graduates who are coming out, who would eventually go out. Then we are training the government agriculture officers of various state governments.
Right.
We are also training agriculture officers from banking system.
Right.
So this knowledge dissemination is the only way we can make farmer
Yeah.
to do this miracle of growing, significantly more and earning 3 or 4 times more.
Yeah. Taking this forward to a more deeper question, which is of understanding of the biggest issue, which is of climate change. while we know that climate change leaves the primary sector stakeholders most vulnerable, do they have real understanding of climate change?
Not really. I
Right.
mean, uh, maybe let me rephrase my answer. Answer would be yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes, because they see maybe monsoon is coming 2 months late
Right.
or staying through November. Now that's
They
a
know the
change.
symptoms.
They know. They don't know why it's happening.
Right.
I don't think they feel they can do much about to prevent it. But as long as they are becoming aware that efficient use of resources
Right.
will result into higher productivity and higher income for them,
Right.
right? If it is told in this manner, I think they will accept it, they will work at it and ensure that we don't create more damage than what we have done.
So, while they're taking care of that aspect, even if they continue to be oblivious of climate change per se, that's not going to have any significant impact on the solution-oriented aspect.
No, because if you go solution orientation, what you are trying to do is by using water efficiently,
Yeah.
by working with farmers to create rainwater harvesting,
Right.
by using solar water pumps
Right.
for energy,
Right.
you are already ensuring that climate change, if it happens, will impact them less. I
Yeah.
mean, the major question ultimately at the end of the day, and this will get solved maybe over next few decades, is
Mhm.
that can you make Indian agriculture and Indian economy monsoon proof?
Right.
That whether monsoon is there
Indeed.
or not, when
Yeah.
it comes, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Still, you are able to produce so much, feed so many people,
Yeah.
create exports,
Right.
create jobs,
Right.
in rural India, all of that,
Right.
which is so crucial for our country.
Right.
And I think today, with work which we have done and the farmers are doing,
Right.
the technology and innovation can make that happen, where ultimately Indian agriculture will become monsoon proof, and then climate change beyond a point, how much it will impact, where it will impact, nobody knows.
Yeah.
If entire Himalaya starts wilting and all the
Yeah.
everything gets flooded,
Right.
so let's not look at those scare scenarios.
Right.
We are more focused on what can be done
Right.
at that micro level
Right.
to solve the problems.
Right. So, what is the solution as far as this is concerned? And what is your understanding of the storage facilities in India?
I think so. Theoretically, in terms of quantitative data, you are right that we get
Right.
enough
Right.
rainfall.
Right.
But there are two different issues to India compared to most of other
Right.
agriculture majors
Okay.
in the world.
Okay.
That our rainfall comes in a very short period of time.
Okay.
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 So you can't really store it,
Okay.
all of that,
Okay.
because there is so much of surface runoff.
Right.
Second, large part of rainfalls come in eastern parts of India,
Right.
part of northeast and
Right.
down below all the way
Right.
to the east. So western, southern, and parts of north don't get that
Okay.
much of
Okay.
rain. So unequitable distribution of the rainfall,
Right.
and the timing that we hardly have about 60 to 70 rainy days
Right.
average,
Right.
and rest 300 days are dry days. And there is no other agriculture major in the world who has this problem.
Right.
So therefore our issues of water are more acute than, let's say, others. The second, overall as a population, we are 16% of world's population, we have only 4% of freshwater resources.
Yes.
So even though we are endowed with good monsoon, good weather, lots of rivers, the Himalaya, all of that, that's true. But still our challenges are far more.
Supply-demand gap will continue to
Continue
exist.
to be there.
So finally, I'd like to understand that even so, after we've taken care of, let's say, water availability, be introducing technologies such as drip irrigation, in order to make sure that our agriculture sector is really prospering, do you think that the overall supply chain is correct, or can there be better alignment of the supply chain within the agriculture sector from the supply side?
I think on the supply side, when you look at farmer as a part of the one who is supplying, right?
Right.
The value chain, so that it gets connected to the consumers.
Yeah.
What generally in terms of jargon we talk farm to fork.
Yes,
How
yes.
do you manage that value chain? So there, for example, we are doing that as a model, where we buy onions from farmers.
Right.
We process those onions and we sell these dried onions or dried onion powder
Right.
to customers around the world.
Right.
So in that, we are doing what is called, people have this concept of contract farming.
Yeah.
So we don't think it is just contract, right?
Right.
Because it's very difficult to enforce that contract with a
Right.
small farmer.
Right.
It's more of contact. It's
Right.
about relationship
Right.
farming. And there, what work we are doing, we give assured prices to the farmer. We give them all the knowledge, the equipment, whatever. They grow more because of the assured price and the cash in hand. They don't have to worry about marketing.
Right.
We are able to add value,
Right.
and so like that, it's continue to evolve and grow. So wherever consumers
Yeah.
or the people who are aggregating from farm and providing to consumers, they can align their objective of good quality supply and reasonable price
Right.
along with the farmer's objective,
Right.
that he needs an assured income,
Yeah.
and he needs to also live decent. Then when you align these objectives, supply chain will work seamlessly.
Right.
Today most of the time at the consumer level, or the guy, he wants to buy always cheapest and cheapest and cheap and lowest possible price,
Right.
and he doesn't care farmer is dying or not. So when you have that kind of dichotomy, it doesn't work.
Right.
When you will align both of their objectives, consumer and producer,
Right.
then supply chain can be seamless. And we have shown, and there are not only us, there are few others example in India. When you have aligned both of these objectives, it has been always a win-win solution.
Right. And last question, sir. Your research and development segment right now, what is the focus area of your R&D segment at this point?
Our focus area on R&D is 2 or 3, that on existing products which have already applied to drip, etc.
Right.
How can you improve more efficiency?
Right.
How can you offer even newer technologies to the farmers, such as moisture sensing, etc., so that you further save water,
Right.
even within the drip.
Right.
You further save water.
Right.
But we are also doing a lot of research on bringing new crops where drip has never been applied in the world.
Okay.
More of the cereals,
Yeah.
pulses, oil seeds, and so on,
Right.
because that will bring a much larger area under our ability to
Right.
go on.
Right. Right. Mr. Jain, thank you so very much for sparing time to talk to us and sharing your insights. Thank you once again.
Thank you.